It's believed that over 100 cases have already been reported across the United States, mostly in Arizona and New Mexico. If you start feeling exhausted for no reason, and your legs ache deeply, listen carefully. This could be Hantavirus. Most realized it too late.
All we want right now is to feel safe.
One of our passengers sadly passed away last night.
Where people with families.
There's a new pandemic, everybody gather round. Hantavirus on a cruise ship entering your town. Don't you dare say that we made it in a lab. It's a rodent-borne virus, just like COVID with bats. Now come here, one and all, take this jab we give. If you disobey, you'll be fired and not forgiven. You better say nothing except the narrative, or just might accidentally overdose or fall flat. Pandemic, pandemic happens every century. Pandemic, pandemic, mask for you and me. Pandemic, pandemic, lockdowns are to come. Pandemic, pandemic, take this syringe, my son. Jeff and Apples walk the street, talking about the sky so neat. Weather weapons causing storms, globalists with secret forms. Jeff and Apples, what a pair, whisper plots while breathing air. Apocalypse is on its way, but they still find time to play. But they still find time to play. But they still find time to play.
How you doing, Apples? Oh, pretty good. It's been a while since we did a video, huh? What's going on? Jews, Hantavirus, World War III. You got it, Apples. Oh, watch out. He's okay, he's okay. I'll let him pick me up, I think. Let's see what happens. No, está bien, déjalo. All right, I'm good. Yeah, we're back. More than a week. We actually took some time off. You know, we haven't actually taken more than a week off since the COVID-19. COVID-19. Yeah, we really haven't. As I said before, though, like my video guy, he was like, I think I might die. like we just never stop. Of course, he doesn't have a Tesla machine, so that's part of the problem, but he's like, I need to do it like a digital detox for like a week. And I was like, you know what? It's the apocalypse. It's not gonna ever stop anyway. So yeah, let's actually take our first break in like 6 years. And that's what we did. By the way, give a huge thumbs up for whatever you want for my video guy. By the way, he's been my video guy since like episode 10 of Anarchast, which was like 2011. He's like grown old doing our videos. He's basically done pretty much every video you've ever seen from me, he's done. His name's Pete. Give him a round of applause. Hopefully he's feeling energized and ready, because there's lots going on, and man, there is lots going on out here. We are getting ready for the apocalypse. I got all the child labor working. You know, anarcho-capitalists, we don't care about government labor laws. Actually, all these young guys are so happy to be working, making some good money here during the apocalypse. And yeah, we're getting ready, but so many things going on, and actually got a huge week coming up here. But you know, when it comes to the war and the oil situation, absolutely nothing's changed since my last walk and talk. So that's kind of cool, in that I didn't really miss much. We're now on like day 80. Remember, it's just gonna be a few days. Remember just a little short-term pain for some long-term gain. Well, we're still in the short-term gain. It's gone on almost 3 months. And man, that's gonna start getting insane. I'll get into that in this video. But now the solar panels are 100, as of basically today, 100% up and running with the batteries and everything. So I am ready, blue roof. And, but there has been something that's been going on for the last week or so, which I was kind of like, oh, I wish I could talk about this, but you know, my video guy was gonna die. That's what I said before, remember? They're trying to kill us conspiracy theorists by doing so many conspiracies that we can't keep up. And I said too, you'll need like a Tesla machine to be able to keep up during the apocalypse. Maybe I should give my video guy a membership to the Tesla Club as a gift. You know, actually, I don't want to say he's watching it right now. He's like, is he going to do it? I don't know. It's kind of... Let me think about it. But, you know, it's not a bad idea. It's actually an investment. Because we're going to have so much to talk about. But yeah, they came out with the latest COVIDs, which is the Hantavirus. Which, by the way, the last time there was an outbreak of the Hantavirus, and there was one before, of course there wasn't, but they said there was one before, was in 1993, which is, drum roll please, 33 years ago. That outbreak also famously had, drum roll please, 33 cases in its initial peak. Not to mention there's the Pfizer 5.3.6 qubit of analysis document, the one released via Freedom of Information Act, which has a massive appendix of adverse events of special interest with the lethal injection from the COVIDs. And what would you know? Hantavirus pulmonary infection appears in the appendix of that Pfizer document on, drum roll please, page 33. Oh, and here's from the Australian, the drum roll please, 33-day Atlantic Odyssey that turned into a Hantavirus nightmare. I think that 33-day cruise started, I believe, in a town called End of the World.
Estamos enviando a los supervivientes a las Islas Canarias.
I know someone out there is just saying right now, how's he going to tie this one into the Jews? Well, there's always a Jewish crisis actor involved, of course. The only person who has been speaking out from aboard the Black Plague ship is Jake Rosmarin, the media's heavily promoted influencer who was an intern at the Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs with a sister who works for Hagerly Consulting, an organization that has been active in major disaster response efforts across the United States, including 9/11. And this isn't even Jake's first crisis acting rodeo. Here he is encouraging his audience to get more lethal injections and boosters in 2022.
Gorgeous, gorgeous girls, get vaccinated. Gorgeous vaccinated girls, get boosted. And gorgeous boosted girls, get boosted again, if you're eligible.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondius, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here.
People are saying this looks just like him too, but the verdict is still out on that one. Crisis actors are always used, most people just don't pay attention to it.
Oh man, it's the same. Oh, same. I feel like I'm in Groundhog's Day, but like a Truman Show version, mixed with the Matrix. Oh, you want some more? Anyone want to guess what Hanta means in Hebrew? In Hebrew slang, Hanta means nonsense, a lie, a scam, or full of crap. It's commonly used to dismiss a story, excuse, or situation as fake, fraudulent, or total rubbish. I don't know if they're making everything so obvious now because we're so close to the end, or I don't know, but everything's just so obvious now. But if you talk to your average person on the street in most places, they have no clue. They're probably wearing a surgeon's mask right now because there's a ton of people doing that again because they're all under mind control. Well, I'm sure there's no connection with this and the Simpsons, though, right? You know, Matt Groening, who was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane getting foot massages from 12-year-olds.
Today we have to talk about crusty brand chew-goo gum-like substance. We knew it contained spider eggs, but the Hantavirus, well, that really came out of left field. So if any of you have experienced numbness or comas, send proof of purchase and $5 to Antidote, P.O. Box 14.
That's our ship!
Purple!
An emergency message. Outbreak of the deadly virus is spreading rapidly.
A virus?
Worrying new challenge in efforts to contain the Hantavirus.
Yeah, not just The Simpsons. In the X-Files, the Hantavirus was featured in the episode X-Cops.
Are you familiar with the Hantavirus, Agent Mulder?
Yeah, it was a deadly virus spread by field mice in the southwestern United States several years ago.
According to the newspaper, FEMA was called out to manage an outbreak of the Hantavirus. Are you familiar with what the Federal Emergency Management Agency's real power is? FEMA allows the White House to suspend constitutional government upon declaration of a national emergency. Think about that. What is an agency with such broad sweeping power doing managing a small viral outbreak in suburban Texas?
You're saying it wasn't such a small outbreak?
No. I'm saying it wasn't the Hantavirus.
Well, what was it? What was it?
When we were young men in the military, your father and I were recruited for a project. They told us it was biological warfare, a virus.
What killed those men?
What killed them, I won't even write about. We have no context for what killed those men, or any appreciation of the scale at which it'll be unleashed in the future.
A plague?
The plague to end all plagues, Agent Mulder. A silent weapon for a quiet war. The systematic release of an indiscriminate organism for which the men who will bring it on still have no cure. They've been working on this for 50 years. While the rest of the world have been fighting gooks and commies, these men have been secretly negotiating a planned Armageddon.
Well, I'm sure at least someone on Reddit or X didn't predict all this years ago, right? Soothsayer, in 2023, Corona ended. He says 2026, Hantavirus. How do you know? I gotta be honest with you guys. The reason we didn't do a video for the last week is because I've been masking up. I've been in PPE gear. Got my hazmat suits. I've been so scared of the Hantavirus. That's the truth of why it's been a week, or more than a week since our last video. We've all been scared to death of the Hantavirus. And you should be too, because just look at these numbers. Hantavirus worldwide deaths. 2021, 250 people or so. 2022, 250. These are all exactly the same. 2023, 250. 2024, 250. Oh, it was way up in 2025. 300 people out of 8 billion that they say are on Earth. This year, actually, is tracking to be less than any of those years, and definitely less than last year. Here's the thing. When you have out of 8 billion, and it's probably about 4 billion, but let's just use their numbers. 8 billion people. And you look through all of their medical records and their PCR tests, and out of that, you can only find a couple hundred that have the PCR test for the Hantavirus. It's basically a statistical anomaly. It's basically meaningless. It's basically zero. and it's still 0, but they're rolling it out. In Canada, here's British Columbia, their new health minister, Bonnie Henry, warning people about the hantavirus, and they're quarantining people because you'll never guess why. They did a PCR test, which means nothing. Just like Carrie Mullins, the creator of the PCR test, said, and then died just weeks before the COVIDs came out. With the PCR test, you can basically say anyone's got anything.
If they could find this virus in you at all, and with PCR, if you do it well, you can find almost anything in anybody. It starts making you believe in the sort of Buddhist notion that everything is contained in everything else, right? I mean, because if you can amplify one single molecule up to something that you can really measure, which PCR can do, then there's just very few molecules that you don't have at least one single one of them in your body, okay?
But no, here's Bonnie Henry. She's like, yeah, we did the PCR test and they got the hantavirus. We're quarantining them for like 3 weeks. They're still doing this stuff.
I'm Dr. Bonnie Henry, Provincial Health Officer here in British Columbia. And this morning I want to give you an update, as we mentioned, on the 4 people who were isolating in Island Health here. One individual started to develop mild symptoms, including a fever and a headache. Protocols were followed to bring them and the person they were isolating with to a tertiary care hospital here in Victoria, where they were both assessed and tested for hantavirus. So as you know, on May 10th, these 4 Canadians who had been aboard the MV Hondius, where there was an outbreak of Andes virus that was first identified on the 2nd of May, arrived here in Victoria at Victoria International Airport. On arrival, all 4 of these people were assessed. None of them had any symptoms at that time. And in keeping with our established public health protocols, they were transferred to lodgings that were procured by Island Health to begin a period of quarantine.
Why are they still doing this stuff? Because no one hung them after the last time they did it. In fact, all of them are still walking totally free. Many of them are still doing the same thing. Now they're just doing it again. I'm kind of sad, though. I haven't heard from Theresa Tam lately. Where is Theresa Tam? There's no public real-time information on Theresa Tam's physical location. What's known is that she stepped down as Canada's Chief Public Health Officer in June 2025. At the time she left the role, she said she planned to take a hiatus, reconnect with family, and explore new possibilities. Well, that's nice. He's decided to take some time off, relax after trying to kill everyone and lying to everyone for years. Now you have people like Bonnie Henry out there. She's like, yeah, super serious, guys. These people came off a cruise ship and they had like a cough. Then we did the little test thing. And wouldn't you know it, it's a hantavirus. Oh, it's so incredible. I can't believe they're just doing it again. Remember, over the last year, I've said this numerous times. I've said it in the newsletter, I've said it in these videos. I've said there's going to be a major, major financial and economic collapse, probably coming this year. And it'll be caused, they'll put something out there to cause it, because, they have to have a reason. Because it's going to happen anyway. And I said it's going to be one of 3 things. And I said this like a year ago, by the way, or even 2 years ago, maybe. Number 1, World War III. I know they don't call it World War III, but what does that look like to you? I'll give him that more in a second, by the way. I haven't even talked about that stuff yet. I said number 2 was that they'll probably do another plandemic. I call it Plandemic 2.0. Hantavirus. They're still going crazy over it all over the place. And I said number 3 was Satan closes cyber attacks.
To a major cyber attack.
Well, there's two things going on right now. The AI is starting to hack everyone and create viruses on its own. So we'll probably see something like that. And Iran is threatening to cut off all the internet cables right now. And what did I say about those three options? I said many times, they'll probably do all three at once. Just here on my ranch, just telling you what's gonna happen. It's all happening. And Matt, we're so close to that financial and economic collapse right now. I'll get into that in a second, but I should keep up with how they're trying to kill everybody. The satanic pedivores, who no one talks about anymore. You notice that? What's everyone talking about? Oh, Hantavirus, which doesn't exist. And the war that the Trump regime started that is going to destroy most of life on Earth. Which is what I said. But they will kill everyone before they'll ever fully let you know who and what they are. And that's basically where we're at. And man, they're pushing it so many different ways. The tick stuff. Of course, Bill Gates has been talking about wanting to block out the sun. He's working on that. He's been working on re-engineering mosquitoes and ticks. And we also know that basically Lyme disease came from the US Department of Defense, from Plum Island, and now infects people, like 1 million people a year or something in the US, like a huge amount. And they actually think that number is way understated. And the Lyme disease comes from ticks. And we've heard in the US about farmers just finding boxes of ticks in their fields. Like, who would do that? Who leaves boxes of ticks? I know what you're thinking. I would never leave boxes of ticks in some farmer field. I know you wouldn't. They're not like you. They hate you. They want to kill you. And now in Canada, they're actually dropping ticks from planes. They're actually chemtrailing people with ticks in Canada.
So this forum post, and I'm going to put it directly on the screen, and I'm going to read it word for word. It says this, quote, I work for a private charter company in Ontario, Canada. The company handles booking and chartering flights across Ontario mainly. We are paid to spread ticks by air. It happens twice a year, early spring and early fall. This year, we've been hired to do it earlier. The company receives the ticks in boxes. Each box contains millions of ticks. The aircraft used are generally single or dual prop aircraft, single pilot, and one other passenger that handles the dispersal. It pays a lot, and I mean a lot. Generally, the ticks are dispersed in several specific regions in Ontario, and it's always the same regions each and every year, thus far. Last spring, the ticks dispersed were mostly American dog ticks. This year, they are all deer ticks, supposedly specifically bred to withstand cold temperatures, end quote. So that post was from March 16th, 2 weeks before Snopes said that this story originated. All right, and it's pretty interesting. Here we have a whistleblower saying that they are paid to disperse ticks across Canada. Now, this sounds eerily familiar to what we're hearing about these boxes of ticks that are being found. And it begs the question, was this person telling the truth?
Oh, just in from Polymarket. New, scientists warn Canadians to prepare for a U.S. tick invasion this summer. I don't know how they'd know that. And apparently you can bet on it. You can bet on it. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, that's going to be one of the next big things, is Lyme disease, which isn't a disease, it's a bioweapon created by the U.S. government that they're now trying to basically kill most people in the US and Canada with. And they're just outwardly doing it now. Pretty insane. But I have some good news. There's only one known thing on Earth that actually gets rid of Lyme disease and actually heals you from any sort of tick-related issues. Anyone want to guess? it's this thing that this crazy guy on BitChute talks about and says was rediscovered in the last couple of years, and everyone thinks he's crazy. But here's some of the people who actually have a Tesla machine from the Tesla Club and their experience with ticks and Lyme disease with it. Ted said, I got bit by a tick today. I felt the pain during the day, but mistakenly thought it was from my long bicycle ride yesterday. It was embedded in my groin area. I'll spare you the pictures, thank you. By the time I found it in the shower, the tick was dug deep. I twisted it out with tweezers and immediately applied the Tesla after the shower. It was red and swollen and painful to walk before I started. Immediately after the first 10-minute session, the red swelling around the bite decreased, and the pain significantly decreased and localized to the bite area only. I did another session before bed. At this point, it's healing faster than I could have ever imagined and looks like a dinky pimple. Amazing. Yeah, we've seen that with basically any insect bite or anything. It just gets rid of it almost instantly. It's miraculous. You think more people might know about it, but they don't want anyone to know about it. And anyone who even is on BitChute, most of them just think it sounds crazy. I don't know what to tell you, but here's another Tesla member who basically was curing Lyme disease. Jessica said, Aaron and I borrowed the Tesla to one of our closest friends for a week. We've watched her health decline over the last few years and it's been really difficult to witness. She's an amazing, multi-talented woman who does a great deal for her community and for the people close to her. She's an amazing mom and grandma and would do anything for them, even if she struggles physically. She's stoic and anyone who doesn't know her well wouldn't even realize how much she suffers. Here's her testimony. I'm a 50-plus-year-old woman living with chronic neurological Lyme disease and Babesia, which was left untreated for 9 years. I slowly began to lose feeling in my toes on both feet, then all the way up my legs to my knees. I stopped being able to move my toes at all. I began falling in 2024 due to not having any feeling in my lower legs. Along with that, I have daily migraines that start at the base of my skull. My life was altered so much in the last 2 years that living is the hardest thing I've ever done. I was gifted the chance to try a Tesla. I was skeptical, as everyone is, but desperate to try anything for some relief. It couldn't hurt to try it, and I'd never know if I didn't try. The first time I tried it was on a Saturday evening. I first used it on my base of my skull, and I could feel the zap of it. I then concentrated on my lower legs and feet. I couldn't feel the Tesla doing anything on either my legs or feet. However, within a couple of minutes of using it on the top of my feet, my veins all popped out. 15 minutes or so of using it from my knees down, my toes moved. I could tell my toes to move, and they did. I haven't been able to do that for almost 2 years. After completing the session, I had the ability to move them for about 5 minutes. Still no physical touch sensation, but movement. I started thinking there was something to it. The next day, I used it several times throughout the day, concentrating on my huge problem areas in my neck, skull, and legs and feet. I could tell the difference in how I was feeling through the day. I had more energy. I was able to stay upright later than 7 p.m., which just doesn't happen for me anymore. And the next day, I woke without a headache. For the next 2 days, I continued with how I focused the Tesla day 4 of using it. I could feel the zap when it touched my legs. I could feel it. I was pretty excited. I could move my toes for several hours following the sessions, and I had 3 days of no headaches by then. Then the most amazing day, day 5. I finished my evening session and I could feel touch to my legs. You can't understand the feeling of gaining the sense of touch unless you've lost it, especially having not felt it in so very long. Even typing this, I'm crying with the remembrance of that. The gratitude for something we all take advantage of. I had feeling for hours after that session. I used the Tesla for 1 week. In that week, I went from horrible daily migraines, exhaustion, and in bed no later than 7 p.m. and unable to move my toes or have sensation knees down, to this. I was able to be functioning until 10 p.m. or later, not a single migraine from day 2 on, to being able to move my toes and being able to feel touch. I'm not skeptical any longer. I believe in the power of healing that the Tesla has. I'm so grateful for the gift of it being borrowed to me to try. I'm now 2 days past having used it and I can't move my toes. I don't have the ability to feel touch and I'm back to headaches. I know I need my own Tesla now and believe fully in its ability to heal. So incredibly impressed. Yeah, so she's been brutally bad for like 8 years. No feeling below her knees for 8 years. Couldn't really walk properly. Migraine headaches every day for 8 years. And in 1 week of using the Tesla, it was all basically gone. Now, she said a few days, like she just borrowed it for a week. A few days later, things started to go back. Well, when you've got a biological weapon in you from the US government that has basically crippled you for 8 years, it's definitely going to take more than a couple days or even a week to fully heal it. So it sounds like she's definitely sold on it. Sounds like she's becoming a member of the Tesla Club. And I wouldn't doubt it if she uses it for a couple months, if she's completely and totally fine again. Because that happens all the time. And that was from Lyme disease, which comes from the ticks, which are now dropping all over everyone in Canada and putting in farmers' fields in the US. Like, I am not exaggerating at all when I say, if I wasn't a member of the Tesla Club, and if I didn't have numerous Tesla machines now, which you can get more once you're a member, and quite a bit cheaper too, by the way. If I didn't have any, and I was living on this ranch, knowing what I know, I'd do almost anything. I've said before what I won't do, but I would consider it my top priority in life to figure out how to become a member of the Tesla Club. Like, not male prostitution or anything, but anything reasonable. Like, I consider it so massively important. And I think people are going to really need this to get through the next few years. They're trying to kill everyone, okay? I don't know if you noticed. And one of the only things that can counteract what they're doing is what Nikola Tesla discovered. But Donald Trump's uncle, the CIA, stole all his stuff and killed him. But now we've got it back. It's so cool. Anyway, who knows how much longer you're going to have access to it? With everything going on in the world, a lot of the world's going to start running out of oil soon. That means no shipping. That means Mad Max situation in the next few months. So, if I was you, I would do almost anything. Like, I would talk to friends, I would talk to family, I would sell a car, I would easily. If I had 2 cars and I didn't really need the other one, yeah, in a second, if that's the only way I could be a part of the Tesla Club and get a Tesla machine, yes. Like, we've healed so many people. I'll mention that maybe a little later. We've been healing people all in the last week as well. Massive, massive healings. Anyway, getting back to Bill Gates. So he's doing all that stuff. He's also trying to block out the sun. He's now dropping ticks with the chemtrails. Like, is anyone going to stop this guy? Am I supposed to stop him? Is that like what I'm supposed to do? Because it doesn't seem like anyone's going to do anything. Like, he sits front row at like tennis matches eating hot dogs. Well, I have everything I need to not worry about anything that Bill Gates does, including being a member of the Tesla Club. So, I don't know. I don't think it's my job to go out there and stop Bill Gates. And I don't even have to, because nothing he does is hurting me. Nor can it, with all the stuff I've done, especially the work. So, but the chemtrails continue, and that's kind of interesting, right? We've got this massive oil crisis. They've canceled tens of thousands of flights now, all over the world. And you would think that maybe the chemtrails would stop if there's a jet fuel crisis and shortage. But no, it doesn't seem to be the case. Of course, here, see, I'm always in the right place at the right time. I've never seen a chemtrail line across the sky here. I've never really seen one in Acapulco either. We're pretty lucky that way. I also have weather busters, by the way, which do work. Like, if you go to dollarvigilante.com/Orgonite, I think you get a discount or something if you use that, but that's where I bought my weather busters from. I'm not saying that's necessarily why we don't have chemtrails here, but it could be. See, these are all the things you got to be doing. What's amazing, people don't even realize how much everything's changed. Your average normie type person is completely clueless. If you even point to the chemtrails and you say those are like nanotech and ticks and they're trying to kill everyone and poison you and turn you into a AI controlled transhuman, they'll just think you're completely insane. And they don't seem to even remember what the skies used to look like for most people. And so many of those things cause so many things in people that they don't realize is even from them. Like a lot of allergies basically come from two things, okay? The lethal injections, that's a big one. They actually put like peanut oil in there and then you're allergic to peanuts and they're actually making you allergic to meat now. But another one is the chemtrails. A lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't know, I've got these allergies now. Oh, do you? It's probably the chemtrails. Well, this little guy never is sick because he actually goes on the Tesla machine whenever he doesn't feel very good. He loves it. He also wears the clothes of a 5-year-old. He's 3 years old. He's also stronger than any kid I've ever really known. But yeah, a lot of the allergies and stuff, people are like, oh, I don't know why I'm like sick all the time now. Well, look up. But even with that, the Tesla machine fixes most of it. Here's Darren. I usually have seasonal allergies pretty bad this time of year, but since having the Tesla, I've noticed I'm not experiencing what I normally would. Endless sneezing, congestion, stuffiness, and runny nose. I began to notice me not having them by watching my son having them real bad, so far sneezing up a storm. I normally would be similar to this. I looked at him a few times, pointed in the room where the healer is, and said, Tesla. But he's not convinced that with regular use, the Tesla is the truth and can get rid of allergies as well. Maybe one day he'll be miserable enough to finally get back on the Tesla. Awesome stuff. Yeah, the biggest issue that most people have with the Tesla machine is even if it cures and heals everything they've got, their family members don't believe it because they're under mind control. They've been told their entire lives that it's the guys in the butcher coats who are practicing in their medical practice who sell you Pfizer products. That's the only way to cure anything, and they've never actually cured anything ever. But that's the mind control. That's how it works. Anyway, since we haven't done a video in more than a week, there has been a few things happening, like Donald Trump, Elon Musk, the Apple guy, the Larry Fink of BlackRock, Tim Cook. All of them all went to China. Why did all these powerful people go with Trump to kneel in China? The answer is access to rare materials. The reality is that Tesla, Apple, Boeing, GE Aerospace, and all the others desperately need China, while Beijing structurally needs them less and less. China controls 70% of global extraction, 85% of refining, 90% of permanent magnets, and 99% of dysprosium and terbium, without which no F-35 fighter jet takes off. No MRI machine works, and no iPhone starts up. And the card with which the US could blackmail China, semiconductors, is already completely exhausted. The US is now totally dependent on China and its military machine. Without China, it will completely fail. Yeah, that's part of the reason for sure. The other reasons are that US government debt is at all-time highs not seen in like decades, which is going to very quickly bankrupt the US government. China used to buy some of those bonds, but they've actually been selling them and buying gold. So I guess they went over to grovel, although it's all controlled by the same people. But who knows, maybe they did try to do a couple deals or something like that. But it's interesting because all Trump's talked about for decades is about how evil China is and how he's standing up to China. Well, what a surprise. This guy is the king of flip-flops.
China, they are not our friend, believe me.
My relationship with President Xi is a fantastic one. We've always gotten along. He's a wonderful guy. He's a friend of mine.
We have a friendship, really, and we just have a good relationship.
We can't continue to allow China to rape our country, and that's what they're doing.
We're doing very well with China, and working with China has been very good.
China ransacked our company, stole our intellectual property. The United States will no longer turn a blind eye to unfair economic practices, including massive intellectual property theft. It's the greatest theft in the history of the world.
Intellectual property theft. Any progress you can report?
Yeah, I mean, it is progress, but I also tell people, yeah, we do it to them too. But they've been doing that for 50 years. We will go right after China. We will not rely on them one bit. We're taking our business out of China. We have about 30 of the biggest business leaders in the world because they do business in China. Most of them do business here, but probably like to do more. And I'd like to see them do more. China's going to invest hundreds of billions of dollars with those people that were in that room today. No administration has been tougher on China than this administration. There's nobody ever been tougher on China than me. There's been nobody tougher than me on China. China's beautiful. It's an honor to be your friend, and the relationship between China and the USA is going to be better than ever before. I'd now like to raise a glass and propose a toast to the rich and enduring ties between the American and Chinese people. It's a very special relationship.
Oh, let's go to Wolf Blitzer in the Situation Room. What's going on, Wolf? Yes, Jeff, additional footage of Russia's Ryazan oil refinery suffering a catastrophic fire this morning after an overnight Ukrainian drone attack. More oil infrastructure being blown up. Strange. Oh, hang on, Wolf, what's going on? Just in, Jeff. Massive fire erupts a gas processing facility in Venezuela's Lake Maracaibo. Multiple injured. Man, oil refineries and facilities have sure been unlike. Oh, hang on, let's go to Wolf Blitzer. What's going on, Wolf? Yes, Jeff, massive flames and thick smoke were seen rising from the H.F. Sinclair refinery in West Tulsa, Oklahoma. Are you starting to get it yet? We're now almost 3 months. Not a drop of oil has come out of the Middle East. Russia's oil infrastructure has been decimated, and they're not exporting oil. They were 10% of the world's supply. Middle East was 30%. It's 40%. All these refineries are getting blown up. Getting close to 50%. But, you know, they're still trying to work out this peace deal, right? This isn't part of Agenda 2030, where they're going to force people to stop driving, live in smart city concentration camps, and get them on their UBI, their CBDCs, their weekly injections, and as each one dies, they feed them to the other people at Soylent Green. What's they're already doing, by the way, I won't even get into that. Don't eat at any mainstream restaurant, I'll tell you that much. Especially McDonald's, okay? It's insane. And if they're not blowing up oil stuff, they're still blowing up power stuff. The United Arab Emirates blames Iran or proxies for strike near nuclear plant. Yeah, apparently a drone struck the nuclear power plant in the United Arab Emirates. Megatron says the big blast in the UAE, a drone has struck an electrical generator outside the Barak nuclear power plant. Noting the drones came from the western border direction, Saudi Arabia, the opposite direction of Iran. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. They're all the same thing. Until people get that, and they're not going to get it. That's why I'm on my ranch. No one's going to get this in time. They've got years, decades of mind control. Oh, there's these different countries, and they're all at war with each other. Yeah, just like in 1984. East Asia's always been at war with Oceania. Has it? Is it because it's all controlled by the same people? And that's how they control everything and kill everyone and steal all their money? Well, people just still don't get it. Oil is basically around the same level where it was for my last walk and talk. It's about $105 today. Maybe it's up a little bit. But this is going to get insane. We're almost at 3 months now. So many people have come out and said if this lasts till the end of June, we're talking about not just shortages, but actual zero oil in many places. And that is tied to so many things. We're talking just insanity in those places. Of course, the price of gas, price of oil is up dramatically. It's basically doubled in many places over the last few months. All part of the plan. See, that's part of the plan too. They just want to wring you dry, take most of your money. Of course, there used to be Biden stickers at the gas pumps. I did this. Here's the best one I've seen lately. Price includes Epstein Files distraction surcharge. And oil is even necessarily the biggest thing that's going to be happening, that's going to be civilizational ending type thing. And that is the amount of fertilizer that's gone, the increase in the price of fertilizer, the increase in the price of gas to put out tractors and stuff like that. If you want to follow that stuff, follow David Dubine of Adapt 2030. It's actually at vigilante.tv. He follows those markets really well. He says we're going to have the lowest wheat crop in like 100 years in the next year. Many farmers have stopped planting. We're going to see massive shortages, massive increase in prices, and massive famines, unfortunately, in the next year or two. And what are they doing? Like, you know, I've talked a lot about the mimic mirror consciousness field that has basically taken over and created this matrix that we're currently in, although we're not really, but we're kind of here. We're having the experience in it. And it's very anti-human. It loves to destroy humans. That's actually what it lives off of. And what we're starting to see now with this build out of data centers everywhere is a big part of that. Now here's the good news, and you can mark my words on this one. There's going to be what's called a CME, a coronal mass ejection. Although the sun doesn't actually exist, the earth doesn't actually exist. But that's how it's going to appear to a lot of people. In September, it's going to start wiping out all this stuff because the flame plasma is actually coming back to Earth now. And within 2 years, most of it's going to be wiped out, which is great. But in the meantime, it's insane what they're doing. I remember when Bitcoin, they were trying to stop it. Because of course, you know, it threatened their central bank monopoly until they hijacked it in 2017. Now it's not even used as cash or anything. Everyone calls it digital gold now. So they co-opted it, psy-opted it, whatever you want to call it. Hamstrung it, made it so it couldn't be used by limiting the block size. But back then when they were trying to stop it, you'd see all kinds of headlines. Bitcoin will soon use up all the world's energy supplies. Yeah, they said that all the time, and I was just laughing. I'm like, no, it's not at all. Like, not even close. But you know what is, and currently is, and right now is happening, all these data centers, they're actually using up most of the energy in many areas. And then people won't have energy for that reason either. But not only that, they're building a lot of these over like farmlands and stuff.
Now, the USA far surpasses any other country for the number of data centers, okay? We have an additional 5,000 compared to number 2, Germany. So we are going way, way beyond any other country on the planet. Now, we're taking up huge amounts of farmland, huge amounts of water. The future implications of that are pretty obvious. You take away farmland, you take away food for the people. You take away water, you take away water from the people, and you put it towards AI, towards data centers. Why are we continuing to support and build our own doomsday towards the future? Because that's what it is. All this plays the 2030 agenda of moving us all into 15-minute cities. We're cutting down the population because we won't have food to eat or we won't have water to drink. And we're all giving it over to data centers and big tech right now.
Yeah, and it's all going to happen all at once in the next year or two. We're going to have fertilizer shortage-induced famines, oil scarcity, energy lockdowns. They've already started that in many areas. Plus the Hantavirus stuff, which they're actually doing, and a lot of people are falling for it again. I can't believe it. And a lot of that stuff, by the way, they're saying, oh, we found like a mouse in a wheat container, so we have to throw it all out because the mouse, well, we tested it with the, stop me if you've heard this before, PCR test. which is a polymer chain reaction. It's not a test of anything, but they say that, and then they force them to throw away all the food. So we're going to see all of that all at the same time over the next year or so. Starting to see some crazy numbers. Price of tomatoes like 5x in many places, including in the US. People don't know this yet because it's just coming out right now. But things like the price of ground beef, for example, skyrocketing. In the year 2000, it was under $2. It's been going up. It's almost $7 now. Oh, break it. Let's go to Will Blitzer's Situation Room. Yes, Jeff, in a bid to bring down record high beef prices, the Trump administration plans to temporarily reduce tariffs to allow for more beef imports. Ah, thanks, Wolf. So you're telling me cutting tariffs leads to lower prices? Huh, never knew that. I thought it makes the economy awesome. Oh, man, it is so crazy. There's so much crazy stuff going on. We just put out our May issue of the Dollar Vigilante. I wrote a huge amount in it. We also talk about this upcoming Bitcoin fork coming out, which is very interesting, in the newsletter. Also, Ed Bugos talks all about the interest rates, how everything's on the verge of collapse, and how to protect yourself and profit from it. And you can get it for free still, dollarvigilante.com/free trial. But things are going to get so insane. You know, having this time off over the last week has been kind of great. It's actually been really great. In fact, like even Max Egan, I don't know if you noticed, he hasn't put out a video in like 2 weeks either. And this was not planned. He's apparently somewhere in like a old growth forest, sleeping in the forest for the last couple of weeks. He sent me a message and he said he's sleeping in the forest, and it's like not even here in Mexico. He went somewhere else to this old like giant oak trees or something to sleep in the forest or something. So he's also kind of like taking some time off. And this is kind of what I was saying before too. Remember what I was saying? Like, I don't know if I even want to continue doing this. Like even giving any of my energy, any of my attention to this stupid stuff. It's all stupid. Hantavirus, scam, fraud, lie. Because I don't have to pay attention to any of it. And over the last week, I'm kind of like, this has been really nice. But anyway, I'm here now. Thought I'd do this video. We'll see if I ever do another one. I don't know. Probably though. I do kind of enjoy them. I'm just having too much fun. I'm actually like, oh man, I've been in my spa all week. Just, plasma bath. I got a new toy too. I got something called a shift wave chair, and it really like regulates your nervous system. I feel amazing. I'm doing my massage chair with my brain tap, reprogram my mind, inhaling hydrogen. Then I go in the shift wave chair, regulate my nervous system while inhaling hydrogen. Then I use the Tesla machine, charge myself up, de-age myself. Then I go in my cold plunge pool, my sauna, sweat out all the nanotech and all the toxins. Then I go in my cold plunge pool, boost my serotonin and all that kind of stuff. Then I go into my plasma bath, lying in the sun, which is so good for you. Oh, it's so incredible. I'm so good, so good. I can't believe still to this day that most people, like 99.99999% of people on Earth, have never even heard of plasma, or what you could call scalar energy, or I call it source energy. It's actually in the ether around us. You just need the right sort of tools to get it. And now we've got it back with the Tesla machine. But this used to be kind of normal. I think in Tartaria, that's what all those buildings were for. They were like plasma aggregators. Also, free energy came from that. That's also coming out soon too, by the way. It's going to be a whole new world in the next couple of years. But even Bill Cooper, in his book, Behold a Pale Horse, He was speaking in 1991, and he was even talking about this technology exists, but they won't let it out to people.
I can tell you that when George Bush says, out of the Middle East crisis will come a new world order, he is not joking. And the new world order is not what you think it is. Friendly nations working together. It's going to be a one world, totalitarian, socialist government. Some of the reasons for this are good, some of them are not. I can tell you that there is a hidden secret technology that is astounding, resembles nothing less than sheer magic, would literally set us free, enable us to cure most diseases, if not all, give us probably a source of, if not free energy, very close to free energy, very inexpensive energy, which we need very badly. And I'm going to talk to you why these things are being hidden.
Hey, what do you think about that, Apples? Oh, you're back in the house. Yeah, I'm just hanging out here in the shade. It's way too hot. Way too hot. You try walking around 1 inch off the ground for an hour in a black fur coat. Even the pugs get in the pool. I'm going inside. We got the air conditioner on inside. No, I know, Apples. It is hot. It's like global warming. Yeah, all this stuff is actually out there again. And you actually have access to it. And if you're not, like seriously, if you have the capability or means and you're not jumping and rushing, and I'm not trying to rush you, I'm not trying to FOMO you, I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just telling you, if I was you, I would do anything to get a plasma machine right now, because you might not be able to get it in just a month or two. So, tzla.club, and watch out, there's a whole bunch of, there's scammers everywhere. Everything I do gets scammers, and I get called a scammer. Maybe I'm called a scammer by a lot of people because they actually have been scammed by a guy who calls himself Jeff Berwick, but it's not me. But watch out, I've heard of people buying, other people saying they've got a Tesla, it's the exact same, they'll sell it to them, all kinds of problems. There's one group that's really doing it and doing it big. And that's the Tesla Club. They're also hiring they're trying to hire dozens of people right now. They're going to be one of the bigger companies. Well, they're going to be the biggest company in plasma over the next few years. And maybe one of the bigger companies on Earth once we go into the new Earth. So if you've been thinking, I'm working at a bank, I hate my job, I hate the system, I hate all that stuff. It's like, well, you could go work at Tesla. You can just go to tesla.club/jobs, I think it is. There's dozens of positions available there. You can work for an incredible group changing the world. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. Doing tons of work. Got more child labor down here. Like even my 3-year-old works. That's what you call unschooling. They're all happy. They all get paid, by the way. And they're happy. Like imagine all the kids sitting in a government indoctrination camp chair for 8 hours a day. These kids are out there making money, learning skills. This is all going to be grass. Probably in just the next few days, we move fast around here. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. I'll head inside as well. Go see if I can find apples. Can't really think of too much else to say at the moment. I think that's enough for our first walk and talk back with our newly refreshed video editor after a 1-week digital detox. Yeah, we got everyone's in here. Oh, there's apples. Oh yeah, and here we got air conditioning, we got food. I'm in the kitchen. You wanna find me? I'm in the kitchen. More kids. Having a good time here. I think I'll leave it there.
¿Qué tenía en dónde le dolía o por qué le pasó?
Yo me caí de ahí.
Ah, se cayó.
Hasta acá, como 1 metro, más o menos. Me sentí el cadera. Mi cadera.
¿Qué le dice el doctor?
Me dice el doctor que con puro reposo, pero yo he sentido que con la medicina no me ayudaba suficiente. Ya ahorita logro parar.
¿Y la máquina le ha servido mucho para
Me
¿sí? Pues sígansela poniendo entonces.
Ay, pues a veces me da pena escoger
No,
otra
pena
porque-
no. A ver, somos vecinos.
Porque digo yo, ay, pues él anda ocupado y dirá, me quita el tiempo esta señora.
Mi esposo le está tomando el video para un testimonio de la
Ajá.
máquina.
Sí.
Para que les explique.
Pues primeramente Dios y la máquina me ha ayudado mucho para sostenerme porque no podía nada caminar. Me aventé 4 meses acostada.
Ay.
Y pues 4 meses, en 4 meses arrastraba mucho mis pies y ahorita logro moverme un poquito más bien. Igual que pues gracias a la máquina ya.
No, pues le invito a la casa. Y a mí me gustaría que fuera a la casa para que probara ahí tenemos también terapia en el agua, que es la misma la máquina, pero en agua. Y más otras máquinas que le van a servir. Si cuando pueda que venga alguien, me dice el horario para que vaya a la casa y se haga en la tardecita.
Lo que pasa es que te voy a decir, tengo dos estilladitas, una en este lado.
No, pero nosotros la movemos.
Ay, Dios, qué
No, sí, nosotros la movemos. Ahí tenemos un montón de hombres.
Sí, pero
No, pues por lo menos 2 veces por semana tome esa terapia.
porque para caminar solita en el agua no puedo.
No,
Necesito
no, la
todo
vamos a
con
ayudar.
con la andadera. Y pues pues es
Bueno, y si no, pues les mando la máquina con yo.
un tipecito más.
Más, ajá, ya que
A ver,
agarre más.
Sí.
¿Sí?
Buenos días, doña Emilia.
Buenos días, Jonathan.
Cuénteme cómo ha sido su experiencia con la máquina Tesla.
Pues para mí, pues desde el día que empecé a que me daban las terapias, muy bien. Me he sentido, gracias a ti y a Dios, que me permite que, pues ojalá y todo esto me sirva por el bien mío.
Muy
Y
bien.
pues me siento bien agradecida de todo corazón.
Y desde el primer día que yo le empecé a poner la máquina, usted antes tomaba medicamentos para el dolor, ¿cierto?
Sí,
Entonces, desde que yo le empecé a poner la máquina, ¿usted no ha necesitado de esas pastillas?
no.
Muy bien.
Nomás
Entonces,
lo que bebo es para la presión.
Muy bien.
Eso sí,
Muy bien.
pues tengo que estarla bebiendo porque aparentemente de un rato a otro se presenta.
muy bien. Entonces, ¿usted ha sentido relajación de parte de la máquina Tesla?
Sí,
Como es como una terapia, ¿cierto?
sí.
Muy bien, entonces vamos progresando. Llevamos aproximadamente como con ese así como digamos 2 semanas, ¿no?
Ajá.
2 semanas de seguidas.
Ajá.
Entonces de esas 2 semanas has notado cambios.
Sí, cambios de que yo me
Muy
sentí-
progresivos.
Sí, porque yo me he sentido muy bien, gracias a Dios y
¿Se ha sentido activa?
sí.
Muy bien.
Cuando me quiero levantar, pues sí, debo de tener cuidados, pero me siento como que no hubiera tenido ninguna caída.
Muy bien. Y por último, ¿cuántos años tiene usted?
Tengo 66.
Muy bien. ¿Y cómo se siente? ¿De 50?
Qué bueno
De
fuera.
40.
Qué bueno fuera sentirme hasta de unos 20, pero pues yo lo reconozco. Estoy
Muy
muy
bien.
trabajada, pero pues espero en Dios y en ti, y ojalá y todo esto,
¿Y en la máquina?
en la máquina, que pues que yo me siento pues bien, me siento relajada, inclusive puedo dormir un poquito más bien, y ahora que he estado con estas terapias.
Y por último puede decir, gracias Tesla.
Gracias, Tesla.
It's back!
Don't be anti-science, no, don't question a thing. Just listen to us and everything we say. special on is buy one, get one free. Get a cheeseburger, fries, and a job. It's so lovely. Don't mind other people taking it around. You are all trouble like flies. What are you worried about, kids? Don't you know that everybody dies? Pandemic, pandemic.